Okay, good morning candidates. Today we will talk about a very important aspect of SSB, and this aspect is how to fill the PIQ form correctly. Why is this form very important, and other details pertaining to this form. And the full form of PIQ, as you can see on the slide, is Personal Information Questionnaire Form. Okay. Now, this form is required to be filled on the very first day of the SSB. During the checking of your documents, the clerical staff will give each candidate one copy of this form, and no additional copies are given. Therefore, you have to be very particular, very careful about filling this form. Now, this is a very important form because it contains very crucial information about you. Most of the personal interview questions carried out by the president are asked. That initial part of the interview is based on the information that you have given or written in this PIQ form, and therefore it is very essential, extremely important that you fill this form properly. You must not write something which you are not aware of. If you do that, it would create problems during the interview, because when you are questioned and interrogated about it, you will not be able to answer those questions, and this may result in your rejection. Okay, now this form has 4 parts. Probably you are aware of it, and these 4 parts they highlight various aspects of your personal information. Okay, which are those parts? The first part contains your personal details. Personal details like your name, your height, your weight, your address, the district and state that you come from, these details. The second part, page 2 of this form, it contains your educational details. Educational details from 10th class upwards, 10th, 12th, and if you are a graduate like CDS, AFCAT or technical entry candidates are graduates. So, if you are already a graduate, then your graduation details. This part also contains any additional education related information.
सर आप बीच में आके बताएं, आप फ्रेम से हट जाते हैं.
Okay. The second part also contains any additional information pertaining to any educational qualification other than your schooling or your graduation details that you may have acquired. The third part, which is a very important part, this part highlights your co-curricular activities. Activities like any participation in games and sports, other than education related activities, any other social activities or any debates or dramatics that you have taken part in during your school days or your college days, any participation in NCC, and a very important aspect, what are your hobbies, details about your hobbies. So, all this is included in the third part. And the fourth part contains your family details, details about your parents and your siblings. This part also contains details of your previous attendance in SSB. If it is your first appearance in SSB, you have to leave it blank. But if you have attended SSB earlier, once, twice or several times, then all those details are also required to be filled in the fourth part. Okay, now some important points pertaining to this form. You must read the form very carefully. Do not be in a hurry to fill this form. Now, filling of this form does not entail any fixed time. You can take as much time. Generally, they are very liberal about it, but all it takes is about 15 to 20 minutes to fill this form. If you need additional time, the clerical staff of the SSB will give you more time. So, you are not under any pressure to fill this form, and therefore, you must read the form very carefully and then begin to fill it. Now, whatever you fill in this form, you must be very sure of it. Do not fill any vague information, do not fill any incorrect information, because you will forget about it, and then during that interview, when the president grills you on those points that you have written, incorrect points, you will not be able to explain. Okay, you have to, one very important aspect, you must fill this form, write very legibly. If I were to recommend something, I would say you must fill it in capital letters. Since this form is, there is no time limit for this form, you must fill it in capital letters. And more so if your handwriting is not very good. Avoid any overcutting, overwriting or cutting. I just told you this form goes to the president, who is the senior most person, the head of the SSB board. Before your interview, he would go through your PIQ form in great detail. Now, anything which is not very legible, if they are cuttings, if they are overwritings, it will create an extremely bad impression on his mind about that candidate. So, you must be very sure that you read the form first before you start filling in, so that there are no cuttings or overwritings. Okay. Now, let us look at some common mistakes which candidates make while filling this form. Okay, I just told you it's an important form. Any mistakes or anything that you leave blank or any vague information is a sure shot guarantee of your rejection. The president will not view these contents very favorably. तो प्लीज़ मेक श्योर कि ये फॉर्म बिल्कुल अच्छे से आपने ध्यान से पढ़ने के बाद बिल्कुल करेक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन के साथ भरा है. ओके, अभी देख लेते हैं विच आर द कॉमन मिस्टेक्स, जनरल जो मिस्टेक्स जो सारे कैंडिडेट्स इस फॉर्म को भरने में जो गलतियां जो करते हैं. तो विच आर दीज? नंबर 1, लीविंग आउट योर चॉइस ऑफ आर्म. ऊपर इसी पेज में, इसी फॉर्म के फर्स्ट पेज में, राइट ऑन टॉप, there are certain details like your chest number. If you are a candidate from CDS or NDA, तो आपका रोल नंबर UPSC का, राइट, आपका जो है उसमें एक कॉलम होता है चॉइस ऑफ आर्म. Many people do not know इसमें करना क्या है. अरे it is a very simple thing. Which wing of the armed forces do you wish to join? Whether you want to join the army, navy or air force. तो वो तीनों में से एक आपने लिखना है. Okay, not filling in the correct address, and quite a lot of candidates forget to include the PIN number in your postal address, in your residential address. So, your address is incomplete without a PIN number, PIN code. Every place, the smallest village in India today is connected with a PIN code. It has a PIN code. So, don't omit that. Okay. Number 3, not knowing the approximate population of your district. Now please note, आप भले ही गांव में रहते हो, आपको गांव की पॉपुलेशन नहीं वो पूछ रहे. यू हैव टू राइट द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ योर डिस्ट्रिक्ट. Every village forms part of a district, so get to know what is the Google would tell you what is the approximate population of your district. तो जाने से पहले वो जान लीजिए and remember that and fill it correctly. Okay. One very important mistake which people make, if you have done your 10th and 12th from a state board school, so you not only have to tick that column of state board, you also have to mention the state. कि किस स्टेट से आपने ये 12th या 10th किया था. You have to mention the name of the state, not the board. UP board, Punjab board नहीं. You have to write Uttar Pradesh or UP, whatever, or Punjab, Uttarakhand, whatever, name of that state. Please remember that. That has to be, in addition to ticking that box, you also have to mention the name of the state. Okay. Leaving the percentage marks of your 12th blank. अगर आपने एग्ज़ाम दे दिया है 12th का और रिज़ल्ट नहीं आया, then you need to tick the subjects. और उसके साथ you must, at the end you must mention result awaited. What does it indicate? कि आपने 12th का एग्ज़ाम दे दिया लेकिन अभी रिज़ल्ट आना बाकी है, therefore you cannot write the percentage obtained in each subject. और अगर रिज़ल्ट आ चुका है तो obviously then you would be required to fill the percentage also of all the subjects that you had appeared for. Okay. Leaving the hobby column blank, a major mistake in filling this form. Many candidates either they leave this column blank or they fill too many hobbies, 7, 8, 9 hobbies. How can a boy or a girl who is a student How can he or she have 8, 7, 8, 9 hobbies? I don't think that is possible. अगर आप 7-8 हॉबीज़ लिखोगे तो प्रेसिडेंट आपको अच्छे से ग्रिल करेगा कि भाई आप तो स्टूडेंट हो, आपके पास टाइम कहाँ है 7-8 हॉबीज़ में इंडल्ज करने का. If I write 7 hobbies, that can be justified because I am a retired person. I don't have to go to school, I don't have to go to college, I don't have to go for any prepare for any competitive exam, I don't have to appear for SSB interview. So I can indulge in 5, 6, 7, 8 hobbies because of there is no constraint of time for me. But as a student, if you are writing 5, 6, 7, 8 hobbies, that would be incorrect. तो हॉबीज़ एक तो कॉलम नहीं खाली छोड़ना. You should figure out for yourself what is your hobby, get to know and write it. Okay. बहुत सारी हॉबीज़, 2 से ज़्यादा maximum 3. Even 3 is a little on the higher side, but you can justify having 3 hobbies. More than 3, probably the president will not agree with that. Okay. इसी से connected एक और point है हॉबी से. Some people write a game as a hobby, like playing football, cricket. Cricket is not a hobby, it is a game. Football, badminton, these are games. So please do not write a game as a hobby. And also remember, जो भी hobby आप लिखते हो, you will be asked 100%, you can be sure of it, कि the president would like to know the details about the hobbies and how do you indulge in that hobby. तो गलत सलत आप लिखोगे तो पकड़े जाओगे. Okay, number 8, not filling in complete details about your parents, like leaving your mother's educational qualification blank or her occupation blank. अभी if your mother is a homemaker, अभी पहले जिसको हम housewife बोलते थे, now the term is homemaker. So if she does not work, then you must write homemaker. आपके father, उसका जो profession है, उसका qualification and what is his monthly income. This you need to know. They expect you to know how much money does your father earn in a month. अभी a question related to this which is often asked is कि sir my father is a farmer, तो उनको कोई salary तो मिलती नहीं, तो हमें कैसे पता चले क्या लिखना है. तो it is a very simple process. You can work out कि in a year जो भी crop आपके फादर के खेत से पैदा होती है उसको जो बेचते हैं उससे कितना पैसा आता है. भले ही साल में एक बार वो फसल कटती और बिकती है, जितना भी अमाउंट आता है यू कैन डिवाइड इट बाय 12, दैट विल गिव यू द अप्रॉक्सीमेट मंथली इनकम ऑफ योर फादर. तो दिस इज हाउ यू नीड टू डू दैट. इफ़ योर फादर इज़ अ बिजनेसमैन और उनका जो बिजनेस से जो पैसा आता है इट वेरीज फ्रॉम मंथ टू मंथ. इस महीने 22,000 प्रॉफिट हुआ, अगले महीने 55,000 हुआ, उसके अगले महीने 82,000 हुआ, तो दैट इज़ एब्सोल्युटली फाइन. What you need to do, just add the details on a yearly basis, divide it by 12, you will get that approximate monthly income. So don't leave it blank. Okay. Not filling correct details about your siblings. Siblings are your brothers and sisters. जो आपके भाई बहन होते हैं उसको अंग्रेजी में siblings बोलते हैं. तो उनकी डिटेल्स, इस पे बहुत लोग गलती करते हैं. आपका उसमें एक कॉलम होता है नेम, और नेम के बाद इन अ ब्रैकेट यू हैव टू राइट बी और एस, ब्रदर और सिस्टर. What is the reason for the president wanting to know whether it is B or S? Very simple. बहुत सारे नाम होते हैं हमारे कल्चर में जिसमें वो नाम लड़के के भी होते हैं, लड़कियों के भी होते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल शशि. Shashi is a name common to boys and girls. My own sister's name is Shashi. So if I were to fill this form, I would write Shashi Mehta and bracket में लिखूँगा S, which is an indication कि this person is a female, my sister. So don't forget to write B or S at the end of the name. Okay, now I'll show you two samples of the first page of this form. This first sample is of a form which has been correctly filled. In the military parlance, it is called grey and white pages. So grey where there is a fault, white which is clear. So this is a white page. See this candidate, whatever his name is, Mukul Raj Sharma, he has filled this form very correctly. All the details have been filled in. There is no error, there is no vague information, and he has filled it in block letters, which means it is clearly legible. तो आपको भी इसी प्रकार इस फॉर्म को, ये खाली पहला पेज दिखा रहा हूँ लेकिन इसके 4 पेज होते हैं, तो चारों पेज ऐसे ही भरने हैं. नाउ द नेक्स्ट कॉलम इज, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड इज the same form filled by another candidate which has been filled incorrectly. Same information, but the way of method of filling it is incorrect. How? He has left various details on top, type of entry, his chest number or his choice of arm, all these details are left blank. His age, if his age is let's say 20 years, exact 20 years, then you must write 20, 20, then 00. तो 00 को blank नहीं छोड़ना है. Let's say if you are 18 years and 1 month old, then your that number would be 1801. तो उसको ब्लैंक किसी भी कॉलम को नहीं छोड़ना है. तो इसमें देखिए द हैंड राइटिंग इज नॉट लेजिबल, देयर वेरियस कटिंग्स, सम कॉलम्स हैव बीन लेफ्ट ब्लैंक एंड सम कॉलम्स हैव बीन फिल्ड इनकरेक्टली. तो ये चीज़ें आपको ध्यान रखनी है कि आप ऐसी गलती नहीं करें, क्योंकि अगर इस तरीके से फॉर्म भरेंगे तो व्हेन द प्रेसिडेंट सीज दिस ही विल गेट वेरी इरिटेटेड. The president of the board is a very senior officer and he does not, he is a very fidgety person. So anything, any form that you put up to him like this will irritate him. He will, it will create a very bad impression about you on his mind. तो इसका ध्यान रखिएगा. And it is a very simple form. कोई इसमें कोई no technical details are required to be appended in this. So I hope you will keep all this in mind. And if you keep these details, whatever I have told you in mind, you will be able to fill it correctly. And even before the interview takes place, the president would already have formed a very good impression of you even before you are called into his office for that interview. So please fill this form correctly, and I am sure you will do that. You will keep these points in mind. So thank you very much.